Welcome to Career Journeys, a series of videos by the Consortium for Public Education. Here we explore the career experiences and pathways of professionals from a wide variety of careers to help you think about the skills you'll need and the paths you might take after high school.
Hi, I'm Gina Barrett, a Program Director at the Consortium for Public Education. Today I'm here with Sam Applefield, a Project Manager for the Pittsburgh Food Policy Council. Sam, thank you for being with us today.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me.
Sure. I was wondering if you could start off by telling us a little bit about your role as Project Manager. Can you tell us what all that entails?
I feel like to explain my role, I might need to explain a little bit about the Food Policy Council, the organization where I work. So we are essentially kind of like a membership organization. So we have over 100 different members who all work in various aspects of the food system. So people who are farming, people who own food businesses, people who work at, the food bank, or other kind of, other work in other ways that affect the food system. And so we kind of serve as a place where all these people can come together and talk about how their work connects, and try and encourage more of that connecting and collaboration. So my role has been to manage this specific project called the Greater Pittsburgh Food Action Plan. So it was really a process over the last 2 years to assess kind of where we are. We have all of these different people who we work with and we're convening, and wanted to see, to set kind of a shared vision for where do we want to be going. So my role has been to kind of manage that process and do some research and writing, to have a lot of meetings, to do a lot of scheduling and coordinating meetings with people, and do a lot of community engagement as well to make sure that we're hearing from people throughout. The focus of the work is Allegheny County, so make sure we're hearing from people throughout the county about what their needs are and how we can incorporate those into this plan that we've been writing.
How did you end up in this position? What's your career path been like?
I've had a bit of a windy career path. When I graduated from college, I started working in kind of at a state park, basically doing kind of some environmental conservation work. I really enjoyed it, but wanted to be doing work that was more directly with people. So I did some traveling, I guess. I worked abroad for a year doing some international development, and came back to the US and was doing some teaching and some community development work. And through all of it was trying to figure out, there are bits and pieces of everything that I had done that I really enjoyed, but nothing that felt quite like it was the thing I wanted to be kind of dedicating my career to. But throughout all of that, kind of food was a personal interest and something that was related to all of these ideas of, community development and education and environmental conservation, and a personal interest as well. And then I realized there were, that you could have a career focusing on food. So I went to graduate school to get a master's in food studies. And after doing that, through grad school, I really got to know the Food Policy Council well. And so then was able to get a job there after graduating.
I was wondering, can you tell us really what makes you love the position that you're in right now? What are the aspects that really make you love your job and what you do?
One of the things I really appreciate about it is that I get to do really a wide variety of different things. So some days we're talking about farmers markets and how we can kind of make them stronger in the region. And some days we're talking about meat processing and why is that, similarly kind of like how can we improve meat processing in the region. So there's a lot of different aspects to the work. And so that's something that I really appreciate. And I think, it's something that I'm good at, kind of being able to manage and think about different things. Also, kind of a large part of the job is really about communicating, talking to people, listening to people, and really kind of taking in a lot of information from different sources and trying to put it together in a way that makes sense. So yeah, those are things that I like about the job, and that I think I like to think I do well at them.
Was there anything else that you could think of as that you have any character traits or skills or talent that makes you really good at being the project manager?
The only other thing I would add is there are a lot of details. So kind of paying attention to detail and making sure. I really like to keeping kind of to-do lists, or just listing things out. It's they're kind of small things, but I found that they make a big difference, and kind of making sure that things don't fall through the cracks and you're able to kind of keep on top of everything. So.
Sam, how does the environmental and social issues that come up, how do they emerge in the work that you do?
I think a lot of the way that we think about and talk about our work at the Food Policy Council is trying to kind of expand the understanding and conversation around food systems generally. So, a lot of times when people think or talk about food, it's often in the kind of context of food access, and like organizations like the food bank, they do really great work, but that's kind of like people's often their first entry point of kind of getting food to people who need it. And again, that's critically important, but also trying to think about kind of the larger picture. So as you mentioned, like what are the kind of environmental and sustainability impacts of the way in which we eat, and the way in which kind of our food system more broadly is set up. So in terms of the transportation impacts of our food, and and other social social issues like around race and racism, kind of highlighting how embedded those are within the food system in terms of who has access to land, who has access to capital to be able to start food businesses, and those food access questions about who has where our grocery store is located. And so really trying to kind of broaden the conversation and show the interconnectedness between issues of food and housing and transportation and sustainability. They are all deeply connected. And so that's kind of a lot of our role, is to try and highlight those connections.
If someone is watching this and they think like, this sounds like something that I would enjoy doing, what questions should they be asking themselves right now? What should they be doing to maybe prepare to get into a position that's like yours?
I mean, from my experience, trying things out was really helpful. So coming to some of our Food Policy Council meetings are open to the public. So coming and listening, and we welcome new ideas and suggestions. So just kind of dipping your toes in the water a little bit and figuring out, and obviously you don't have to just join our organization, but other organizations that are doing kind of similar work where you can start to have some experience. And I'm I feel like I'm still learning about what parts of the job I do like and don't like, and it's kind of an ongoing process. But that would be my advice, is just to kind of, if it's something that you're interested in, just to try getting involved and seeing what you learn about the issue and about yourself through engaging.
Was there any other piece of advice that you wanted to add to anything that maybe we haven't touched on with some of our questions?
There are so many ways to get involved. The work with the Food Policy Council works well for me. I've always kind of been a person who likes to bring lots of people together. And that's, again, kind of a lot of the work that we do. But there are lots of ways to be involved. If you're interested in food systems and, in those intersections of food and race and sustainability and justice, you don't have to work in a Food Policy Council. You can be doing more kind of direct policy advocacy work. You can be doing more communications and education based work. You could be farming, any of those things. So there's lots of ways to get involved, and just figuring out kind of what kind of experiences you want to have. And like I said, knowing that for me at least, everything I've done, I've learned a little bit from that I've then been able to kind of help identify what my next step might be.
Well, Sam, thank you so much for being with us today and telling us all about your career and how you got to where you are. We really appreciate that.
Yeah, my pleasure.
For more information or to learn about other careers in the Career Journey series, visit our website and check back soon for our next installment. Thanks!